Find 5% of 440. So I'd work out what 10% is probably. So 10% of 440 is going to be 44, because to find 10% I'm going to divide by 10. Now that's 10%, so 5% is half as much as 10%. So 5% of 440, not 444, 440 must be equal to £22. 25% is 1 quarter, so I'm just going to divide by 4. 25% is 1 quarter, therefore 1 quarter of 600 is 600 divided by 4. 600 divided by 4, if I divide by 2 is 300, divide by 2 again, it's £150. Factorize 12x plus 24. I'm looking for the factor of 12 and the factor of 28, the highest factor of both. In this case, I believe it's 4. So 4 times by 3x would give me 12x, and 4 times by 7 would give me 28. 14x plus 6, I'm looking for the highest common factor. In this case, I think it's 2. 2 times 7x plus 3. Next question, please show all working out with a balancing method, even though it's fairly straightforward on this case. So I'm going to take away 4 from both sides. That's going to give me 6x equals 12. I'm then going to divide both sides by 6. That's going to give me x equals 2. Just going to get the zoom correct. Question 6. 2 ways of doing this. I could expand the bracket out and then solve, but actually this time I think it's going to be easier if I just divide both sides by 5 to begin with. So if I divide both sides by 5, how many 5s go into 425? I'm going to do a little bus stop to help me there. 5 goes into 4 not at all. It goes into 42 8 times. 2 is left over. It goes into 25 5 times. My answer here is going to be 85. So I've got 85 here, and I've got 11x minus 3 here, because I've divided both sides by 5. The next thing I need to do is I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So that's going to give me 11x equals 88. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 11 to find what 1x would be. X must be equal to 8. Question 7. A bit of prime factorization, which we've just been working on in class, so should be nice and straightforward. 7 times by 6. 7 is a prime number, 6 is not. It's 3 times by 2. They're both prime. 2 times 3 times 7. 720 is a product of primes, so I'll probably go for 72 times by 10. 10 is 5 times by 2. 72, I'll probably go for 9 times by 8. And 9 is 3 times by 3, and 8 is 2 times by 2 times by 2. Right, so I've got 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. Or 2 to the power 4 times by 3 squared times by 5. I just split this 8 here into 3 2's, because 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So you can do that as well. Or I could have gone 4 times 2 and then split the 4 into the 2 2's. Right, to find the median I need them in order. So let's put them in order. 1.4 seems to be the smallest one. Then 1.7. Then I've got 2.1. Then I've got 2 2.2's. And I got a 2.5. So the median is halfway between the middle two numbers, or the middle two numbers. Now this time I've got 6 numbers. So the middle of those is halfway between here. So I've actually got this is halfway between 2.1 and 2.2. So this would be 2.15. Okay, halfway between 2.1 and 2.2. And for the mean I'm going to add up and divide by how many I've got. So I'm going to do 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 37 divided by, there's 5 numbers, so that gives me 7, 10, what have we got? No, sorry, 6, 9, 13, 50. 50 divided by 5, which is just going to be 10. Okay, question 11. Work this out. Just be careful with the brackets. I'm going to do the brackets first. That gives me 4. And then I'm going to do 5 times 4. And that's just going to be 20. I've got to do the index first. So that's 9. So I've got 12 plus 5 times 9. But I've got to do my multiplication before my addition. So that's 45. So I've got 12 plus 45, which is 57. Next question. 15 divided by 0.3 is the same as 150 divided by 3 if I just use equivalent fractions. Times that by 10, times that by 10. So that's just going to be 50. 10.2 divided by 0.6 is going to be the same as 102 divided by 6 if I just use my equivalent fractions. How many 6's go into 102? A little bus stop here, goes in once, 4 is left over, goes in 7 times, answer 17. Make x the subject. I need to undo a square rooting, so that I'm going to square both sides. I'm going to square both sides, so I get y squared equals x. There's my answer. With this one, right, make x the subject. So first thing I need to do is divide both sides by a. That gives me y over a equals x squared. And then I need to undo the squaring, so I'm going to take the square root. So I get y over a, the square root of that is equal to x. Question 17. 97% as a fraction in its lowest terms. 97 out of 100. I don't think I can simplify it. That's that. Done. Express this as a percentage. You've got to make it out of 100. So I have to times that by 4. If I times that by 4, I've got to times my top by 4. 16 out of 100. 16%. Right, where does this cross the y-axis? Y equals mx plus c. So this number here is where it crosses the axis. So the answer is just minus 12. This number here is where it crosses the axis. My answer is just minus 7.